We're following breaking news as we come on tonight, the major escalation in the Middle East. U.S. officials confirming that Iran has launched drones and missiles toward Israel, following through on its vow to retaliate for the deadly bombing of its consulate in Syria 12 days ago. Earlier today, Iran's Revolutionary Guard seizing an Israeli-linked cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz, rappelling down from a helicopter, and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah launching a barrage of rockets into northern Israel, the Iron Dome intercepting many of them. President Biden cutting short his weekend trip to Delaware and returning to the White House to consult with his national security team about events in the Middle East, now meeting with them in the Situation Room. Israel closing airspace to all flights as it braces for an Iranian attack, and neighboring Jordan also temporarily closing its airspace. We have team coverage tonight, Britt Clennett leading us off from Jerusalem. Tonight, an unprecedented attack on Israel. For the first time, Iran directly launching drones from its territory, roughly 100 drones on the way, expected to be part of 400 to 500 drones and missiles from Iran, as well as Iraq, Syria, and southern Lebanon, according to a U.S. official.
Targets are 3 military bases, especially one housing F-35 fighter jets. The attack, retaliation for a deadly strike on the Iranian consulate in Syria earlier this month, likely to unfold over a number of hours, according to the National Security Council. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tonight saying the defensive systems are deployed, saying we are prepared for any scenario, both in defense and attack. Netanyahu once again vowing whoever hurts us, we hurt him. And a U.S. official
The U.S. will help intercept everything possible. Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, after the drones were launched, saying the evil regime will be punished. The Israeli Defense Forces saying the drones would take hours to reach Israel, more than 1,000 miles away. Israel closing Ben Gurion Airport and Israeli airspace, also closing schools and limiting large gatherings until Monday night. Iran for weeks vowing swift revenge after top commanders were killed in a strike the Pentagon says Israel was behind. Earlier today, Iran seizing this cargo ship, partially owned by an Israeli family, in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran-backed militia group Hezbollah also claiming they struck Iron Dome air defense platforms with drones. Those defenders shooting down missiles fired at Israel by Hezbollah last night, many of them intercepted. Britt Clennett back with us from Israel tonight. And Britt, as we heard from Israeli officials today, they're prepared in both defense and attack. What are you learning about how Israel could respond tonight? Yeah, the U.S. has no doubt that Israel will respond, whether lives are lost or not, and that Iran itself will be the target. Britt, thank you. And we know President Biden returned to the White House early this weekend, cutting short his trip to Delaware so he could meet with his national security team about the events unfolding in the Middle East. What is the administration saying tonight? Well, the president is making clear tonight that America's support for Israel's security is ironclad. Now, the White House has been on high alert for days. They knew that this attack was imminent. The president cutting his weekend vacation short, and he is currently meeting, according to a U.S. official, right now with his top national security advisors in the Situation Room. But look, anxieties here, they are running high. Officials tell me that there is deep concern that this Iranian attack and a possible Israeli response that could widen this war, which is exactly what the president has been trying to avoid. And Selena, what are your sources telling you about a potential U.S. role in the military response? The U.S. is going to try to intercept everything that they can. That's according to a senior U.S. official who says that Iran is trying to overwhelm Israel's air defense systems by launching hundreds of drones and missiles from different directions, speeds, and altitudes. Now, the U.S. expects that most of that will be intercepted, but the fear is that if Israeli lives are lost, that the Israeli response will be much bigger. And at risk here as well are U.S. forces in the region, and the U.S. has already moved military assets to the Middle East in order to protect them. And major concerns for that escalation. Celine, what can you tell us about the nature of this attack and just how unprecedented it is for Iran to strike within Israel's borders? Well, it's unprecedented in a historical sense for Iran to directly attack Israel. What's concerning here, as Selena pointed out, is 400 to 500 drones and missiles inbound right now to Israel. Now, Israel has the most sophisticated integrated air and missile defense capabilities in the world. But with that number of incoming missiles and drones, it's almost inevitable that some will get through. So, Steve, how likely is it that the U.S. will now be pulled deeper into this conflict, and what could our role look like militarily? U.S. has made clear that they will do whatever they can to help Israel in this attack. We know that there are ships in the Red Sea. The U.S. ships in the Red Sea and off the coast of Israel both have very sophisticated anti-missile capabilities. But Iran has also said that if the U.S. helped Israel in this attack, that U.S. troops in the region would become fair game. And so the world has gotten very dangerous tonight, not only for Israel, but for the U.S. as well. Truly a delicate situation and so much at stake.